Before telescopes, before the vast knowledge of the cosmos we take for granted today, there was a time when the stars were little more than distant mysteries. And in that time, one man defied the heavens, his fate, and even his own mortality. This is the story of Tycho Brahe, the astronomer whose life was as extraordinary as the cosmos he studied. But Tycho Brahe wasn't just an astronomer. He was a nobleman, a party host, a duelist, and a man whose ambitions often exceeded even his genius. Prepare to step into a world of scientific revolutions, royal intrigue, and personal drama that would rival the greatest stories of fiction. Tycho Brahe entered the world on December 14, 1546, in Skane, then part of Denmark. Born into a noble family, his future seemed destined for courtly life. But fate intervened in the form of a family dispute. At just 2 years old, Tycho was kidnapped by his wealthy uncle, Johannes Brahe, who raised him as his own. This unusual twist wasn't viewed as a scandal, it was considered a pragmatic solution to ensuring Tycho's education and upbringing in privilege. Johannes saw potential in Tycho from a young age, investing in his education. Tycho studied at prestigious institutions across Denmark and Germany, where he showed an early interest in the sciences. Yet, his noble upbringing wasn't without challenges. The expectations of his family clashed sharply with his burgeoning curiosity about the heavens. Little did anyone suspect that this abducted child would grow into a man who would reshape humanity's understanding of the universe. At 13, Tycho's destiny took another sharp turn. Witnessing a solar eclipse sparked his lifelong obsession with the stars. He quickly realized the existing star charts were woefully inaccurate, and the young noble set out to fix them himself. In an era when astronomy was deeply intertwined with astrology, Tycho's pursuit of precision was groundbreaking. His first attempt to correct star charts involved rudimentary instruments, but his determination caught the attention of his professors and peers. Despite his youth, Tycho stood out for his meticulous nature and bold ideas. But his family was less than enthusiastic. They wanted him to study law, not astronomy. Tycho's defiance of family expectations laid the groundwork for his rebellious spirit and pursuit of truth. In 1566, Tycho's arrogance led to a fateful argument with another nobleman. A heated debate over mathematics escalated into a duel. The result? Tycho lost part of his nose to a sword slash. Rather than wallow in despair, he turned this disfigurement into a badge of eccentricity, wearing a prosthetic nose made of metal. The duel wasn't just a life-changing moment physically, it also shaped Tycho's character. The humiliation of his injury pushed him to prove himself in other ways. Stories of his prosthetic noses would become legend, adding to his mystique and fueling rumors about his daring exploits. Some accounts even suggest he had different noses for different occasions, a silver one for formal events and a copper one for casual settings. This detail would only amplify his image as a man of both brilliance and eccentricity. With the support of King Frederick II, Tycho was gifted the island of Hven. There, he built Uraniborg, the most advanced observatory of its time. This wasn't just a scientific lab, it was a palace of astronomy, complete with gardens, libraries, and cutting-edge instruments designed by Tycho himself. Uraniborg was more than an observatory, it was a statement. Tycho's vision blended art, science, and architecture, reflecting his belief that understanding the universe required harmony and beauty. Yet, not everything was idyllic. Visual, laborers toiling on Hven. The construction of Uraniborg was not without controversy. The peasants of Hven were heavily taxed and forced into labor to realize Tycho's vision. This tension would foreshadow future conflicts that would upend Tycho's life. By the late 16th century, Tycho's fame had spread across Europe. But his most significant collaboration came with a young, ambitious mathematician named Johannes Kepler. Tycho recognized Kepler's brilliance but was also wary of him. He feared Kepler's hunger for recognition might lead him to steal Tycho's meticulously gathered data. Their partnership was tumultuous. Kepler was desperate to access Tycho's decades of observations, while Tycho sought to maintain control over his legacy. Tycho initially assigned Kepler the seemingly unimportant task of analyzing Mars' orbit, a decision that would inadvertently change the course of history. Kepler's work with Tycho's data led to the discovery of the laws of planetary motion, proving that planets moved in elliptical orbits. But this breakthrough came after Tycho's death, a fact that would leave their relationship forever shrouded in both triumph and tragedy. After King Frederick's death, Tycho's fortunes began to wane. The new king, Christian IV, was less supportive, and tensions with the residents of Venn reached a breaking point. Tycho was accused of mistreating the peasants and mismanaging his estate. Forced to leave Venn, Tycho wandered through Europe, seeking patronage. His reputation as a brilliant but eccentric figure preceded him, and he eventually found refuge at the court of Emperor Rudolf II in Prague. Prague was a haven for Tycho's ambitions. Emperor Rudolf II was a patron of the arts and sciences, and Tycho was appointed imperial mathematician. Here, he built another observatory and continued his groundbreaking work. Despite his achievements, Tycho's personality often clashed with those around him. His insistence on maintaining control over his data frustrated his assistants, including Kepler, who was growing impatient. But Prague wasn't just a place of scientific progress, it was a stage for Tycho's final act. His health began to fail, and the tension with Kepler reached its breaking point. In 1601, Tycho attended a banquet that would become infamous. According to legend, he refused to leave the table to relieve himself, adhering to courtly etiquette. Days later, he fell gravely ill and died. For centuries, rumors swirled about his death. Was it a bladder infection or something more sinister? In recent years, forensic tests on his remains revealed traces of mercury, fueling speculation of poisoning. Whether his death was natural or foul play, Tycho's story doesn't end there. His legacy lived on through Kepler, who used Tycho's data to revolutionize astronomy. Tycho Brahe's meticulous observations laid the foundation for modern astronomy. His work bridged the gap between ancient and modern science, proving that precision and perseverance could unlock the secrets of the universe. Today, his name endures in places like the Tycho crater on the Moon, a fitting tribute to a man who spent his life gazing at the heavens. Tycho Brahe was more than an astronomer. He was a visionary, a rebel, and a pioneer whose life reminds us that even the most eccentric among us can change the world.